Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, December 4th. Hope everybody has had a great weekend. It's been a fun weekend in college football. And just to wrap everything up, Tennessee is playing in a New Year's Six Bowl. And there is some, I guess, sad talk you want to call it we can get into. But we can have a consolation prize, I guess, in that Tennessee kept Alabama out of the college football playoff. And the team, I guess you could say, because with the way
silver lining, I like that.
Is a silver lining, and the team that beat Tennessee to keep them out of the college football playoff at least kept South Carolina's Joel Osteen out too, right? Because the way they played last night, and then everybody losing in front of them, did they play their way in if they don't lose to South Carolina?
I mean, it's a possibility.
It's obviously slim. But you're a one-loss conference champion.
I don't know. I don't know what the committee's actually looking at week to week. It changes. So
fair point.
Knows?
fair point. I half expected Alabama to jump Ohio State. Not half. I was fully bought into that conspiracy.
I was fully expecting today Alabama was going to be the number 14.
Yeah, 100%. I think everybody was. Alabama fans definitely were.
I bet. What's his name? Commissioner Greg Sankey. I bet he is livid.
Oh, yeah.
Livid.
Tough day in Birmingham and Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some Tennessee football. Orange Bowl bound, like I said, and this is the Orange Bowl of all Orange Bowls. I think they should end it after this or rename it. This you can't get better than these two oranges right here. So we will talk that. Transfer portal for coaches. I don't know why we haven't started calling the coaching carousel the coaching portal or something. It's got to have portal in there.
Carousel it sounds cool.
Carousel does sound cool. So do we
change? It sounds like chaos.
So do we call it? Is it because it's alliteration, or can we call the portal? Is it the player portal and the coaching carousel? Is that why?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
All right. I respect that.
I like player carousel too. I just like carousel.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I forgot how much fun the coaching carousel was.
When's the last time you actually been on a carousel?
Long time ago.
I can't remember the last time I've been on one.
We got some dads that have probably been on one. Probably had a great time.
But it is nice to lose a coach because he got a better job.
Yeah, and
it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and I don't think there's necessarily anything to worry about. I think obviously Alex Golesh is a great play caller, but as far as offensive system, it's Josh Heupel's system. So nothing. I guess we can jump right into that. We can talk more. We can go a little out of order. We're the tangent show. Yeah, losing Alex Golesh, it obviously is unfortunate. Like you said, it's great that he got poached and has upgraded his gig. I'm sure it obviously comes with a pay raise, but more so status raise and position raise. And so that's great. It's not a lateral move. He didn't just want to leave. But yeah, it stinks I think Tennessee's going to have to look for someone that's as good at play calling as Golesh, because that's obviously very important in this system. Really happy for him. It obviously stinks. But I think Tennessee's fine. Yeah.
I'm wondering about, he interviewed for the Cincinnati job. I don't know where he was on, their board wise and who they're looking for, but I think if he had to pick between one, obviously you want to go to Cincinnati because the program is in a better situation. They are moving to the Big 12. It does make it a little tougher, I guess. But South Florida, he was at Central Florida, so I think he's got some connections down there. I'm sure for recruiting purposes, so maybe that kind of swayed him to take that job and maybe not wait out the Cincinnati job. But hey, when you get an offer like that, you got to take it.
Yeah, for sure. And then I wonder kind of how the Cincinnati. It's got to be an interesting job to just bring that up real quick. It's got to be an interesting job to try to pull someone in right now because obviously you're going to see rebuild. You've already seen players. You saw players at the portal the moment the news broke. And then jumping to the Big 12, it's kind of like you're rebuilding the program all over again. Because what Luke Fickell's done cannot be understated. But you're also about to step into a whole new realm. It's not playing in the AAC anymore. So I'm curious to kind of see what that job. Honestly, if I'm Golesh, I'd probably take South Florida over Cincinnati, even with the recent success.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, good for him. Number one offense in the country. Heisman candidate quarterback that you've developed in the last 2 years. So good on him. And, we'll see kind of how it works out. Does Josh Heupel, especially for this game, apparently he's not going to coach in the Orange Bowl, going to get right to USF and start coaching immediately. Do you just hire a tight ends coach and you just take over play calling ability? I don't know. What does that look like? I mean, Josh Heupel seems like he, probably doesn't trust everybody with that system. So I think he's got to find the exact fit for it. Does Joey Halzle get the promotion there? I don't know. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I have a feeling it's going to be from within. So I am curious if it is that. That's just a feeling. It's nothing else. So yeah, we'll see. I am curious about the bowl game too. I've got to think it's going to be Josh Heupel calling the plays. That'll be how it's. Whether there's a guy kind of filling in a goalish type role, I think all the play calls are going through Josh Heupel.
Gotcha.
Or coming from Josh Heupel. I don't know. Just plugging a guy in there and in 30 days, less than 30 days, to go play in a bowl. That'd be tough. I mean, that would be kind of setting a guy up for failure.
Yeah, I'm more talking about next year, I guess.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think it's probably from within next year. I can't imagine handing over those reins because, I mean, Halzle hasn't called plays at a big – I don't know if he has in his career, but not at a – certainly not at this level.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see kind of how it works out. But, again, you have the system is still in place. It's intact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, no worries there.
Yeah, not a huge loss in terms of that. But, yeah, I mean, good on the program. That makes your program look a lot better when you're able to, feed guys out like that. So
100%.
Says a lot about them. Orange Bowl. The oranges of Orange Bowls.
Love it. I think this is it's going to be a fun matchup. We haven't seen Tennessee Clemson at all in modern history, I don't think, except for 2004.
2003.
Peach Bowl. 2003 Peach Bowl. I think that's one of the few ones the only one in modern history. So, I mean, this is an exciting one in terms of geography. You're talking close, close there. And then a lot of obviously recruiting battles of recent past. Probably T. Higgins, the most notable recruiting battle. That was a tough one to lose. So a little bit of, not a rivalry, obviously, but maybe a little, a good, healthy amount of disdain for each team.
Yeah, it's a team that, Clemson has been on top of the college football world. So I think this is huge for the program to seek out a win against a team that, recently has been up there and, gets that status of college football royalty. And if you're able to go down there and get a win, I think that's massive for, like you said, recruiting. I just think it just kind of stamps this season as a magical one for Tennessee if you're able to do that.
Yeah, I think the loser of this game should not be allowed to wear orange pants for the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that should be.
Or how about the loser isn't allowed to swim the field next year?
I mean, yeah, I like that one. I'd like that one too. Either way, put something on the line. You know, you have the mayor's bets every year. Let's see the teams kind of starting to put in some bets of their own on this one. Make it a little bit more fun and interesting. It's bowl game. I'm sure you'll have some quote unquote opt outs, maybe injury outs. But no, Clemson's a super talented team, and I think it's going to be this is going to be really tough. I think I said it. I would have rather played Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl. But in terms of just like fun matchup, yeah, you want to play Clemson, but certainly more talented than Kansas State.
Yeah, and you'd feel better if Hendon Hooker was playing 100%. But I think, Clemson's going to have to deal with some opt-outs, much like Tennessee is going to have to deal with some opt-outs. Does Cedric Tillman play? Does Jalen Hyatt play? Darnell Wright? Guys that, this is kind of their – that they have an opportunity to make some money in the NFL draft. Do you look at that and just be like, hey, this game isn't worth it? I think it means something more to Tennessee than it does Clemson, obviously, because I mentioned they have been in the college football playoff so often. So maybe this looks like a kind of downgrade for them. So what is guys like Brian Breesy and Miles Murphy and Trenton Simpson, guys like that on that defense that are studs that should be first-round guys, do they decide, no, this game isn't meaningful enough for me to risk injury?
Right. And what does stink about the chance for those opt-outs, and you'll see them. I would imagine in a game of this caliber, I'd imagine most of the opt-outs will be guys that have a history of injury or have, like Cedric Tillman, battled with injury all year type deal. I don't see any guys just opting out of this one because it does have some in a world without the college football playoff, in a world of just BCS, this would be a huge bowl game.
Yeah.
And college
so do you agree it means more to Tennessee than it does Clemson?
No, I do. Yeah, okay. I definitely do. But I think this is a really cool matchup because you mentioned Clemson, who's been on top of the college football world, and then Tennessee, who played themselves out of a college football playoff this year. I think this bowl game would be massive if you didn't have the playoff dangling there with obviously how it's set up now. So, yeah, no, I do think it certainly means more. I just think it's definitely the most interesting bowl Tennessee's played in, which, like you said, is one of the reasons it's bigger for Tennessee. So, yeah, I'm curious. And, Clemson played really, really good football against North Carolina last night, and they've obviously they responded well after that loss against South Carolina. So, and probably found a quarterback.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of Tennessee played their way out of a college football playoff, and that's always going to sting. But, yeah, Clemson's kind of in that same boat where they kind of played themselves out of it. Losing to Notre Dame like they did and then, losing to South Carolina also. Is this the South Carolina Bowl?
Unfortunately, that's the only thing that really sucks about playing Clemson is I saw some South Carolina fans calling it the Shane Beamer's Your Daddy Bowl or something like that. And it's like, you get that one for at least a year. You do. I hope Tennessee's able to respond next year in Neyland. And
I love South Carolina fans are now talking after, not a single word all year long until they beat Tennessee. But
you get it. You get to do it. So you better enjoy it for 12 months. Yeah, you better enjoy it for 12 months. And then I hate Clemson. I wouldn't mind. They went 0-12, wouldn't hate it. But after the way South Carolina fans have acted, wouldn't mind if they went 1-11 with the win over South Carolina. Wouldn't piss me off.
We already lost to Shane Beamer. I can't imagine a world of losing to Dabo Swinney too. So
he's already walked when he saw that Tennessee Clemson matchup dangling. He walked back his words immediately. So
100%.
Yeah, he knows.
We remember. We keep receipts.
I can't wait to see the maybe Josh Heupel flipping burgers at the celebration after the Orange Bowl.
Oh yeah,
that'll be fun.
Josh Heupel does look like the uncle on the grill.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we're tenured. We keep receipts. We like those paper receipts, so we keep those. And Dabo, I hope you're ready.
I hope we're ready. You get a month to prepare, guys.
They do find their quarterback. I don't know why he's been sitting on the bench for so long, but Cade Klubnik did play really well last night.
I need to look it up because he did play against
one of the worst defense in the country, too, in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to look.
We also do not have a great defense.
Yeah, you're right, Landon. We don't. So I don't know how many snaps he played against Notre Dame. I think he just played one. He came in and threw an interception, or he just threw one throw. I think he played a few snaps, and then immediately got pulled. So,
hate to see it.
Also, at least we got to watch Drake May one time or one season in a North Carolina uniform. That was fun.
Yeah, you think he's gone?
Yeah. Did you see his comments?
So did he already? He didn't enter though.
No. He made Lane Kiffin type comments.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I don't have him pulled up in front of me, but he did that.
Yeah. Again, speaking to the media is a dangerous game. Look what Deion Sanders did today. Did you see that?
No, I don't think so.
He made his son stand up in his press conference and said, "That's your quarterback." Well, I don't disagree, but you can't just say that without competition. I mean, I know Colorado was terrible this season, but man,
just get through spring before you say that. I agree. I didn't see that. That's funny. Deion's not been one to mince words or shy away from criticism.
No. Yeah. I mean, I don't think his son has even said he's entering the portal yet.
Is that his official? That was his announcement.
Well, I mean, is that not a violation of some kind?
Could you call it collusion? They live in the same house. I don't know. Tampering, is that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't. Something just seems very illegal about that. Without even.
Is he allowed to go to the family barbecue now, or is that
only
during certain times? What are the rules there, guys?
What about a corporate rule where you can't work with your sister in your direct department or something like that? Is that your son can't be your quarterback?
I don't think the NCAA's ever had
the
NCAA's never had a nepotism problem. Land sports don't. They don't just hire their kids because they want to. No one's ever done that in the history of football.
Or just pee-wee anything.
No, never happened. Ever. Sports are one of the most honorable things of all time. I liked what BJA2 said. He said, looking at this, I guess, from 10,000 feet, I'm happy we get Clemson in the marquee non-college football playoff game. And then he said, we may not be back, but we aren't getting too far away. Getting to a New Year's Six Bowl is great. I agree. Year 2, New Year's Six Bowl. If you tell us you're playing Clemson in the orange, and I'm not trying to say South Carolina shouldn't be labeled as a very disappointing moment in the season. Don't get me wrong. But looking at the season overall, you tell me we're playing Clemson in the Orange Bowl, and I'm happy. Period.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, this program is an absolute dumpster fire. So the fact that you're in the New Year's Six Bowl, you're ranked 6th in the country. I mean, what we would give in 2020 for our team to be number 6 in the country. So
a lot, Landon. I would have given a lot.
Yeah, got to look at it like that. Again, that South Carolina loss is always going to sting because you're for sure in the playoff. That they couldn't have left you out.
No. And it's crazy because you needed a lot of things to go your way, but everything that you needed to go your way went your way.
What about this is kind of a fail, and I've said kind of 2 of my fails already, but oh well. What about Nick Saban just getting on ESPN last night and making his case? I mean,
Fox, not even ESPN where you have the SEC network.
Oh, he's on Fox.
He got the Big Ten during the Big Ten game on Fox. He got to go on and beg the college football playoff to let him in.
How many calls did he make to boo?
Landon, I don't know if you know this, but Alabama won their last 3 games of the season. I don't know if you knew that stat. One of those was against the juggernaut Austin Peay, which was probably their toughest game, if we're being honest, because the other one was a non-bowl eligible Auburn with an interim coach and with Hugh Freeze and Lane Kiffin lingering on the outside when everybody in those walls wanted Lick. What do you call him?
Lack.
Lack. That makes more sense. Lick. Speaking of Pee Wee football coaches, that's a 7-year-old. That's a U7 coaches where they're playing with full pads on and all their helmets. They're looking out the bottom of their helmets with a mullet. That's their head coach's name is Lick. But yeah, everybody in that building wanted Cadillac to be the coach, and yeah. So I mean, but those last 3 games they were pretty tough, and they did go 3-0, which couldn't be said for every team. So you got to respect that. I mean, I think we're sitting here saying, why is Alabama not in the playoff right now? I think that's a valid question to ask.
Should have won.
I think that's what Jim Harbaugh was yelling at the camera about. Is get Nick Saban off my broadcast.
I love Alabama fans. They're all on my mention saying like y'all are celebrating a regular season win. Well, the reason you're not in the college football playoff is because of that regular season win. So,
and yeah,
regular season wins do matter.
I do celebrate wins because they're wins. They go in the column that we like.
I had a lot of them comment on my pictures that I decorated, or my wife decorated my room in. I'll give her credit for that. But I mean, like, I wouldn't have just a random canvas if we didn't storm the field. I mean, it meant something. So sorry you don't get to do that. Maybe you should try winning.
Winning sounds like a good plan. You probably would have gotten into the college football playoff if you win in Knoxville or you win in Baton Rouge. One or the other. Pick one. You're in. So, don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Also, every Alabama fan, you're 4 points away from being 12-0. Sure, but you're 12 points away from being 7-5. 3 plays away from being 7-5. One where Lane Kiffin just started making the dumbest coaching decisions of all time. It started that week. I don't know what to tell you. Everyone wants to say put the 4 best teams in. Alabama is one of the 4 best teams. I just don't know if that's a fact. You didn't play great. If you didn't have Bryce Young either, which I know players matter, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't have Bryce Young, yikes this season. You're good. Alabama's good. They are not what we've seen of Alabama the last 15 years.
No, and there's a ton of talent, but like you lack.
Nice.
Your playmakers on the outside. You just didn't have a Devontae Smith or a John Mechie or a Jameson Williams like you've had in the past.
No. Nope. Let's recap championship week so we can stop talking about Alabama.
Yeah. You're sitting with us.
We'll start off Friday night. Utah USC. Maybe a little Utah on your fingernails there. Maybe don't do that. Also, how can Tennessee continually get accused of being trashy? And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say Jordan Beck was right to do it, but Jordan Beck also flipped off a team in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the game. He didn't sit down on Friday night and paint his fingernails.
Yeah.
They are both the same thing. One, in my opinion, is worse, and it's probably because I have orange on, but it's worse. I don't know how we aren't talking about it. But anyways, Caleb Williams goes in and limps his way through the game, and they just get demolished. But it wasn't just that. USC's secondary is worse than Tennessee's. Their secondary is pitifully bad.
Yeah, that tackling was horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, that 3rd and 19, he breaks 5 tackles in one play, and then number 7 continually gets drug around the field. Continually. I don't know who he is, but I do what?
I want to see who is number 7.
I don't know, but if he has any NFL draft hopes, I hope they just fell apart that game. Because if there's a GM that drafts him, you're an idiot. From that one game, I'm telling you. Just stop it. But USC lets Tennessee into the college football playoff if they had been hanging around. Shout out to USC. You tried. We appreciate it. Lincoln Riley, is he going to be the next Henry To'oTo'o? Just didn't get a championship after leaving.
I did see a great tweet. It was like I was really looking forward to Lincoln Riley being 0-4 in the college football playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So
been nice.
Nice. The F Utah thing, it's like, number one, Utah already beat you this season, so you have nothing to like brag about. And then you do that before a game. I mean, you just jinx yourself. You deserve that.
Also, for the second week in a row, didn't he do it last week too?
I don't know if he did that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did say something like F Notre Dame or something like that.
Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to seeing that and voting for him for the Heisman.
Well, they gave it to Johnny Manziel, Landon. Come on.
Did Johnny Manziel do that? I mean, at least Johnny Manziel he was going to own it.
He did. He did own it.
He was going to say, "Who else are you going to give it to?" I beat Alabama, so.
But he beat Alabama single-handedly. By the way, I mean that, especially. I mean, just what we know from A&M.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second, Ronnie. We got a question. We'll get to it in a minute. Let's wrap up college football, though. Kansas State TCU, Saturday afternoon.
Also, if y'all have any comments or questions, drop those in the chat. We'll get to those.
Yeah. Kansas State TCU, I mean, Kansas State just played. You talked about it. It's tough to beat a team twice. Utah did it. But, I mean, you just got to hand it to Kansas State. I mean, TCU struggled throwing the football. But at the same time, Kansas State just didn't let it go away. They didn't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
Thought they did. You thought they did, but they didn't. So you just got, at some point, it's what we've done. We talked about it with TCU. A lot of close games, a lot of games they probably shouldn't have won. But then at the end of the day, you're sitting there going, well, you found a way to win, so credit.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the same thing. Didn't end up pulling it out. I put money on it, so that's probably why. Whatever. The last sequence, I mean, Max Duggan literally left everything on the field, and you don't put it in his hands those last two plays. Not one of them. You just run up the middle. Stop running up. Like, everybody knows you're going to run it up the middle. Stop doing that. I hate that.
Well, not only did Max Duggan leave it all out there, I mean, he was your far and away best player, too.
Yeah.
So,
if you don't have a Georgia offensive line where you can just mow down anybody in front of you, stop. If you try it once and they stop it, you got to do something else. You can't redo it. I mean, that's insane.
Figure it out.
Also, like that, we talked about it's a game of inches. That third down where Max Duggan tries to reach for the end zone, or I think that was second down. When he tries to reach for the end zone, they marked it short. I mean, it was like that short, and they gave him like a whole yard he had to get to.
Yeah. Game of inches. I'm sure they reviewed that too, didn't they? I don't remember. The only review I remember is that one that took 4 hours in the Big Ten championship.
I didn't even watch that game. I had no.
I had to. I had free money on it.
How much money did you win?
36. I only put 25 on it. 36
Nice.
bucks. Yeah.
Big spender.
Oh yeah. I told you, free money, baby. Free money. Speaking of that game, I mean, it sucks that they lost Blake Corum, but my God, Edwards is a freaking stud.
Yep.
He's. It's fun to watch him run because he's so explosive. The moment he's through the hole, I mean, just lightning, gone. And I haven't watched much of Blake Corum, so I don't know how they kind of look versus each other.
They're about the same, I would think.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, watching him get through a hole is a ton of fun.
Kind of remind you of Dylan Sampson a little bit.
Yeah, Dylan Sampson was 6 foot. I don't know how tall he's a big dude. 6'2", 210. Dylan Sampson's kind of the opposite of that, but yeah, if he was that, yeah, definitely.
We'll put some weight on him. He'll get there. I faith.
Can he grow? Do we have something to? Does he need to hang in one of those things?
Well, yeah, we'll just hang him upside down. And he'll stretch out. Yeah,
there you go.
sure.
Perfect. I'm into it. Yeah, that won me money. It looked like I teased it down to -12, looking bad there until the end of the third quarter. Shout out Harbaugh. Also, I love my favorite thing ever. We need more ref hat cams. So I was at a bar watching it, so I couldn't hear. And I just look up, and Jim Harbaugh is in what I presume is the broadcast camera, in the lens, just yelling at the guy.
In khakis.
Or yelling in the camera. And I was like, what is hat? It took me until it came up on Twitter or that Instagram story I sent you to figure out what he was doing. I was like, what did that cameraman do to warrant this?
He's upset, man.
It was an awesome moment. We need hat cams.
Oh, and Georgia LSU. Georgia, I mean, I was surprised LSU kind of kept it that close, but every time they would like get closer, Georgia just would score again. So
Score. I told you I didn't love 17, but man, did Georgia.
Georgia's winning the national championship, right? I mean, there's
it's
the fact
it's
that they're able to just flip a switch at any moment.
Yeah, it's going to take quite the game from, I would think, Michigan. I mean, I guess you can't say Ohio State doesn't have a chance. You think before Michigan they had a really explosive offense. I guess it's non-zero, like we were saying about portal stuff and players leaving early, but I don't see Ohio State doing
that's
it.
the only way you beat Georgia, right? Is you got to be really explosive on offense, and definitely don't see it from TCU, and I don't see it from Michigan. I mean, maybe Ohio State, but then again, their defense hasn't been great. So I think you have to have a really balanced team, but really explosive on offense. And I just don't think there's anybody left to do that.
No, I don't disagree. Michigan, I think, gives themselves a chance because they are the second most physical team in college football.
Yeah.
But then again, I just don't see them matching the explosiveness. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see them being able to score like that. You know, they're not going to drive the length of the field running the football
right
on Georgia's defense. So
right.
Had some recruits in town, some 5 official visitors, all in-state kids. 4 of those already Tennessee commits. You had 4-star edge Elijah Herring, 3-star defensive lineman Trevor Duncan, another 3-star offensive or defensive lineman Nathan Robinson, and then 3-star offensive lineman Aiden Bussell. And then you had 4-star linebacker Arian Carter from Smyrna, Tennessee. And on his official visit this week, it looks like it's going to be between us and Alabama. Alabama will get the last official visit next week. So we'll see how that one kind of plays out. But, I mean, good to get him on campus. And I think he wanted to come in the fall. They wanted to get him on campus where they're able to spend more time with him. And so he did that. Alabama gets the last visit. That's tough. But, yeah, I mean, early playing time. I mean, there it is. It's right in front of you. So
that is the one thing you have going for Tennessee right now. That is for sure. So just sell the crap out of that, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever you got to do.
That's not the one thing. I didn't say that right. That's a really good way to get a guy. Is probably the better way to say that.
Yeah.
Because
Elijah Herring is his 7-on-7 teammate. They've been friends for a while. So, you know, him being in town, I'm sure helped that quite a bit. So, yeah, we'll see how it kind of works out. I think he's going to make he's obviously going to sign early, but he's going to make it a public at the All-American Bowl. So,
gotcha.
What else we got?
For news,
I mean, we got some bowl matchups.
We can talk bowl matchups. Pull up bowl schedule here. I don't know them all by heart. Did Utah not lobby to get out of the
Rose Bowl?
Rose Bowl. That's the name of it. The Rose Bowl.
It's not.
Tough.
What about Florida having to go all the way to Las Vegas?
Who are they playing? I'm trying to pull it up.
Oregon State.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I don't know. Good matchup, I guess.
Wake Forest, Missouri.
What other interesting matchups?
Wake Forest, Missouri. I mean, what is that over going to be?
Yeah, that's. Well, how much can Wake Forest score? I'm not convinced Missouri can.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, Wake Forest got beat by Duke.
That's true.
I saw that. Ugh, that's okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not. I'm not taking it. I'm not touching that.
We don't bet on bad teams.
Yeah.
We don't bet on bad teams.
Right.
Speaking of continuing to talk about freaking South Carolina, playing Notre Dame. I mean, you didn't think those two teams at the beginning of the year were going to probably be playing in a good bowl game.
Yeah.
So, hats off to them, I guess. I didn't know the Barstool Bowl was still a thing. I'm kind of
Who's
shocked.
playing in it?
It is Ohio and Wyoming.
Okay, so we heard the Missouri Kansas ordeal.
Yeah.
What exactly happened? I heard that Missouri just didn't want to play it, but then they came out and said that wasn't true. So
yeah, I don't know. I've no idea, and I don't. Yeah, I really have no clue. And then
why
obviously
would you
they're
not
not
want
playing.
that? Yeah,
I don't
why
know
would you
that.
not want that matchup?
I don't know what the exact reasoning was either. So I don't have a clue. But it's Kansas and Arkansas now in the Liberty Bowl. So
Memphis.
whatever. I mean, I'll be excited for a lot of these bowl games when they actually happen. Right now, it's just hard to really. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's hard to care.
It is cool that Tennessee is playing in the Orange Bowl. It is kind of in prime time on that Friday night at 8 o'clock on ESPN. So
For sure.
I think that's better than playing a noon game on Saturday in the Sugar Bowl. I'm not saying that the Sugar Bowl is better than Orange Bowl. I'm just saying that, if you want people to keep an eye on your program, that's probably a better time slot than noon on Saturday on New Year's Eve.
Sure. Good point. Good point. All right.
Because you're not going to be the only game at noon. I think let's see who else plays.
You're
You're the only game on Friday night.
Yeah.
Notre Dame and South Carolina in the Gator Bowl.
Yeah. I think, that's one of the matchups right now I'll look at and say, that'll be interesting. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I hope it won't be the teams of old of those two.
Oregon, UNC, you like the over in that game?
Yeah. Oh, definitely take the over in that game. For sure. I mean, if Oregon can't score.
It might be 100, though. They might.
Yeah, but if Oregon can't score, or UNC can't score, Oregon can. So who cares? It'll hit. Utah and Penn State. Oh, I'm so glad. I am glad Ohio State went in because I just didn't feel like getting shafted that way out of an Orange Bowl. Yeah. That would have sucked. So that's good, I guess.
Also, I didn't think about this, but how distracted is Dabo Swinney going to be when he sees some females and some thongs on the beach in Miami?
Oh, it's a good question.
Yeah,
good question. Don't let him out. Don't let him out on South Beach.
He'll probably make a TikTok about
it. Basketball. Tennessee tips off here in about 20 minutes. We will get y'all out of here before that starts up against Alcorn State. Sunday night, 6 p.m. Love to see it.
Yeah, what a time slot. God.
Which I know the women played today in the Jimmy V Women's Classic.
Yeah, do we want to get to that question?
We can't. I guess read the question, but I don't really have an answer. But yeah, read it off.
Yeah, Ronnie said, guys, please give us your take on why the Lady Vols are struggling so much.
Yeah, I just don't have a take. I don't really know. It's very weird.
They played a ton of good teams, but for them to be a top 5 team and no longer be ranked, I think is concerning. They did almost beat Virginia Tech. I think was ranked in the top 10. So
number 9, yeah.
I don't know. It's just not good.
They're not, and I don't know. I haven't watched enough to really give a great reason why. I just don't know. I know they've especially struggled, and they've had kind of like the men, but the moments have lasted longer where they just had lapses of scoring, and then unlike the men, their defenses kind of match that. So they've just had these in games, a lot of these periods of really struggling, and that makes it really difficult to win.
Yeah, and they're usually always letting somebody get theirs. They're going to have somebody go for 40 or something like that, which Tennessee has done. Like the men have done that in the past as well, but it looks like they've kind of nipped that in the bud a little bit. But yeah, if you want more people interested, you got to win some ball games.
Yep.
That's reality.
Yeah, that's not a. It's tough. 4-5 already on the year. It's tough. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier in the SEC. So.
Correct. Let's see. Do you have anything else?
I was looking. I mean, I guess does TCU have a shot with Michigan?
I don't. I think it's Georgia, Michigan. I think if you want to put your bets in, I think they're both around 6. I know Georgia and Ohio State are at 6.5. I think they both cover.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see the path to it, but non-zero, I guess. Non-zero chance.
I mean, if Kansas State was able to get that much pressure on Duggan, Michigan's gonna destroy him.
Oh yeah, I would think so too.
And looking at that Tennessee matchup, I mean, quarterback wise, you got a true freshman. I mean, Tim Banks is coming after Cade, right? Got to.
I hope so. I mean, that's one of the.
I mean, make him uncomfortable. Don't let him just sit back there and play 7-on-7. I mean, you got to come after him.
Well, I think that the defensive backs have to find a way to balance pass rush too, in terms of not giving guys ample amounts of space right off the line of scrimmage. But you also got to help your secondary out as well and get to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tough balance to find.
Yep.
You can get tickets for $6 right now to get in the Alcorn State game, guys. So if you're near campus, if you don't find them on the sidewalk, you can get it in for $6.
Wow. What's the Orange Bowl tickets? We looked at that.
They were $100 this morning. I think everybody. I mean, you knew where everybody was going. You knew who was going to the Orange Bowl, but I'm not sure what they are right now. They weren't terribly expensive this morning. So, I mean, surely nobody was waiting on the official word. You knew.
They're 150 on Ticketmaster right now.
Okay, it's not terrible. Not terrible.
Can we request tickets? Season ticket holders?
I don't know how it works. I've never done that for bowl game, so I don't know. I'm sure you can, but I'm not sure.
You want to go?
I do. It's just there's a lot going on, especially early in the year, that I don't feel like being broke all the time. So
I feel that.
And then I don't know what our flight's gonna look like because I'm not driving. There's not a chance I'm driving.
If we took a party bus, would you go?
Yeah, I'd probably go.
Okay. All right. Just throwing that out there. Just gauging your interest.
All right.
Joe, you want to get in here? No date not tonight? I mean, you didn't think we weren't just going to bring that up, right?
That's on me. I just gotta eat that one.
Yeah. What'd you do
for the date?
Yeah.
What's that? Cheesecake Factory.
Oh,
a little Cheesecake Factory, a little Christmas mall, little shopping.
Okay.
Typical. Little spirit. Got an advent calendar. I'm pumped up. I'm ready.
Hey, what's a Loco Burro? That Mexican restaurant at the mall. Apparently, it turns into a club on the weekends. Is that true?
I know the upstairs is like stupid, like cool. Like they have a big terrace with like all these lights and all that stuff. So I mean, I might be. I don't know. I haven't been up there on.
If anybody knows, I'd love to honestly, if I'm going out, I don't want to go to the mall to go out. So, I'm interested in what that vibe looks like.
You look like a guy that would go out at the mall, for just being honest. I mean, Drake's turns into a club, so I would imagine a place called
I've never been there.
Does. You ever been to Drake's?
Not when it's the club, no. Not when they make you take your hat off or whatever.
You would go. That's my point.
So, Joe, since you missed the show, did you have to pay for it, or did she pay for it?
No, I paid.
Damn.
It's all right. She paid tip.
Okay.
Respect.
Nice.
Respect.
Almost went Dutch.
Yeah.
I gotta get my dinner paid for tonight. That's what I'm working on.
Wait, what did you say?
I'm trying to get my dinner paid tonight. That's what I'm working on.
How are you doing that?
Well, we're gonna find out. I said I'm working on it, not that I've done it.
Well, I want to know, like, what's your plan?
I don't have a strategic plan. I don't have a plan
Okay.
laid out. I'm gonna go with the flow kind of person. So.
Okay.
AKA he's paying for dinner tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. Most important?
Most important. Let's do it, baby. Joe, you got any?
Yes. Actually, no, that would probably qualify a little bit more as a fail. Y'all go ahead.
I'm in the 0.5% of Rod Wave listeners on Spotify.
That kind of makes sense. I don't think Rod Wave has a ton of listeners, especially on Spotify.
What?
Especially Apple, like maybe Apple Music. They seem Apple Music type.
Oh my god!
I don't know. Rod Wave's got a big following.
Dude, you gotta ride that wave, Caleb. What you mean?
You would ride that wave. I don't have the men's.
Who's your top artist?
Mine?
Yeah.
Who was it this year? Well, first off, I listened to 46,600 hours of podcast.
Even minutes?
Sorry, 46,000.
I was like 46,000 hours. That's several years.
We did it. Yeah, we did the math, and it was like, hold on, I'll do it real quick. Oh shit. We did it, and it was several days of listening to podcasts, and then we recorded for 5.5 days. We had 6,600 minutes. So total podcast time was I think it was 42 days. Podcast time. Yeah.
That's insane. That's awesome. For the pod, baby.
For the pod.
I think I had some stupid amount of.
I didn't listen to a lot of music this year. I did listen to 800 different bands or songs. No, yeah, 891 songs. I listened to 200 different bands. I can't remember.
Damn,
artists,
that's not. You only listen to 800 different songs.
Sorry, 559 artists is what it was.
Okay. I was about to say, I was like, that seems a little.
I did not listen to a lot of music this year. It's just podcasts, baby.
I had 1,100.
I don't understand why they released that because you still have another month, right?
It's true. I don't know when they started it, though.
Yeah, that always bothers me because because it's supposed to be a year in review. Why wouldn't you do it around the new year? And then, because I don't know, it doesn't make any sense.
Do they start it in November though? I guess it is a year.
I think it's I don't know.
Or in December, I mean, not November.
My top one was none other than Drizzy.
So you think Colorado made a good hire in Deion Sanders? You like that hire?
I think it's a bad hire. I'm good.
I mean, they already just got a 2025 commit that is top wide receiver, but that's not, I mean, it's a little bit of the Deion effect. So, I mean, obviously it's good in terms of probably a little publicity and pulling some
it's if they're not winning, because, I mean, it is Power 5. It is a little different than, Jackson State. So, if they're winning, yeah, obviously he's going to pull recruits, and obviously he's going to pull some because he's Deion Sanders. But if you're sitting here and they're, 6-6 on the year, our top wide receiver is going to want to go play in that.
Yeah. I don't know.
He does have a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it'll be a little interesting. Yeah, if they don't, I don't know. I don't know that people would necessarily. I mean, I think Deion would do a good job of getting people to buy in, and especially since it's Power 5, taking a little bit more time to build back instead of just being yeah, we're gonna go 8-4 or whatever.
And Colorado's in the Pac-12, so I mean, there is Pac-12 is great. So yeah, you can kind of be a thorn into people's side until you rebuild that program up. It's not like a SEC where you kind of, if you're a bottom feeder, it takes a lot to get out of that.
They could be like the South Carolina of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Break some hearts and talk some trash, but never actually be relevant.
Yeah. Any more most important? I got one more. I got an 8th grader, Trent Seaborn, threw 5 touchdowns and led his team to a 7A state championship in Alabama.
Dog. How old?
That's incredible.
He's in 8th grade.
And he's like to his cousin or something too, right?
Oh, really? I didn't see that. I didn't know that.
I think he is. I think that's right.
Oh, that's annoying.
We'll see you at Alabama in a couple of years.
Correct.
Great.
Correct. Unfortunately, correct.
I don't know. Maybe that family doesn't like him anymore because
One can hope.
Talia went to Maryland.
Good point. Good point. My other most important is Cocaine Bear. You guys seen the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think they said the movie takes place in Knoxville. Is that right?
I think it takes place in Georgia, like in the mountains, like.
Okay, so they
between
follow
or
the real
something?
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they follow the real story, the bear was located in Georgia, but the guy that dropped the cocaine that was flying it, he crashed the plane crashed in like North Carolina, but he ejected, I guess, or jumped out of it. Is probably the better word. And his parachute didn't deploy. He was found dead in a driveway in Knoxville. So, yeah,
It'll be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I know some of it takes
So
place.
this is a real story. When did this take place?
It's back in the
I
80s,
can't
wasn't
remember
it?
the year. 80 sounds right, but I can't remember off the top of my
85
head.
or something.
Okay.
I have a
'Cause
screenshot of it.
this is like
1985.
around the same time Dolly Parton she was on the night show. Did you hear the story? I saw it on TikTok.
I did.
don't know how old this. I don't know how old it is, but it had to do with the bear, and they're like the bear had like ate gasoline, and then he ran to Sevierville and fell over. And she's like, "You know why he fell over?" And they're like, "Oh, did he die?" No, he's out of gas. So I didn't know if this had anything to do with the cocaine bear or if Dolly Parton was somehow involved. But
She's in the movie, isn't she? Or am I
Is she?
pretty sure?
okay, so it does.
I might be totally missing something there. I
Okay.
don't know why, but she definitely at least was mentioned.
Okay. Cool.
Sweet.
So maybe there is
I think she's in it. Maybe.
something there. Let's go fail.
Fails of the week. It's Caleb Williams for me, man. That's embarrassing. That's just flat out embarrassing. Riding F Utah and then getting spanked like that.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Okay, am I having? I swear I was having deja vu last night. Did he not? Has anybody else written something on their fingernails? Like, Is this the second time that's happened? Like, I swear when I saw it yesterday, I was like, I saw this like last week or
I
something.
think he did some at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were talking about that. I think
Okay.
he did that, but I don't know for sure.
Because the way that everyone was reacting to it made it seem like it was like the first time they'd seen him do it or something. And I just remember being like, I thought I was like total deja vu because I was like, I've seen this exact picture.
Yeah.
It's okay. Good. I'm not crazy. Cool.
I don't think he will ever do it again.
I would hope
No.
not. I would really, really hope not.
Mine's Danny Cannell.
Damn.
And this could be its stupidity too, but man, this guy just sucks at life. He just says the SEC had a horrendous year. You can't say with a straight face that losing twice in a down year qualifies you for access to the playoff.
Well,
The number one team is in the SEC, so
yeah.
and literally like the only reason why two Big Ten teams are in it is because they literally play the exact same schedule, and one had to beat the other.
Yeah.
There's not really much you can say about that one. That's just maybe he's just working for talks, but
Yeah, I know he's a big Big Ten guy, but I'm like, I mean, what's he gonna say when Georgia just steamrolls both of those teams?
well, and that's the thing is this was my fail is that like the Danny Cannell, if you want to make the statement that maybe SEC hasn't not even say like not been as good, but not been good in the areas that we expected them to be good, like they are every year. Obviously, like Texas A&M and stuff, that was a barn fire. Just because Alabama doesn't dominate and is guaranteed a CFP spot. Like you still had three SEC teams be number one at some point in the country during the season. I think they had the highest non-conference top 25 win percentage. Like, I mean, you can say something like, "Oh, the SEC didn't, produce as well as they should have," but saying they had a horrendous year, come on, dude, look at the stats. They didn't.
Yeah,
and you're right. Georgia will probably stomp on just about any team in the country, let alone.
And literally, Florida went 6-6, and they beat the best team in the Pac-12. So,
yeah.
Right when Tennessee starts getting good, everyone starts downplaying the SEC. I see how it is. We can't escape it. It's just something that we're going to have to live with.
Right. All right. Well, anything else, Caleb?
That is all I've got.
That's all you got?
I did miss the most important. Did you see that video of, I think it was a Houston volleyball player? She goes over it. It goes out the back, and she goes over a table. Gets the ball back in play, and it had to hurt. I'm impressed. She came back into play. She went through a table and like 3 chairs. Gets the ball back in play, and they end up winning the point. It was incredible. Volleyball players are athletes. All right, I'll say it. That was
for sure
an insane play to make, and not just make that play either. To get back up and keep playing. I should have seen all the video because it's awesome. But yeah, that's my only last thing to say. It was my most important. I forgot.
Cool. All right, guys. Well,
go Vols.
Go Vols. We'll be back on, what is today? Today's Sunday. We'll be back on Thursday. Got a special guest with Eric Kane, so we'll be back for that. And we'll be discussing, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think you were about to say it, but someone asked a transfer portal question. We'll answer it on Thursday because we're going to have an expert in here. He won't say he's an expert, but he is. Well studied.
He's in the know.
Exactly.
So, be back for that. Have a great rest of your week. We're bringing the boat in